I'm Stephanie Hansen from stephaniesdish.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make corned beef brisket. And not the kind that you boil with the potatoes and the carrots, because while that's great on St. Patrick's Day, it's not really great any other time of the year. But actually, corned beef brisket can be super great, and it's super awesome cooked in the oven, which I'm going to show you today, or you can even cook it low and slow on the grill. There's two types of brisket that are available around St. Patrick's Day. There's the point cut, which I'm going to use today, and there's the flat cut, which I have the recipe written for, but they're interchangeable. It won't matter what kind you buy. Notice that the point cut is always a little bit cheaper, and the flat cut is a little bit more expensive. I don't exactly know why. So we're going to take our first stab at each of these roasts. I'm going to do both on this one pan and cook them at the same time. So let's get it going. What we're going to do is take them out of the package, get rid of all this little red liquid, and get rid of the flavor packet, because we're not going to be using that. We're going to flavor it ourselves. All right, so the corned beef has been brined in this fluid, and I don't want to cook with that fluid on the beef. You can, it's not a problem. You can add the seasonings, it's not a problem. I just like to do it myself. So I open the packet and actually discard the seasonings and just rinse it. And on this particular flat cut, you can see that this is pretty consistent all the way through. This side is a little thinner, so when I'm cooking, I'm gonna have to watch that, because this side's probably gonna cook a little faster. And then with the point cut, it's pretty much the same thickness all the way through. All right, so we've got both of our roasts on there. I'm just gonna dry a little bit of the water off. I'm gonna rub some seasoning on here. Stanley, my dog, is very interested in what I'm doing. All right, so let's just rub a little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon on each roast. And we are going to cook these low and slow in the oven at 275. So for the larger roast, I'm going to go ahead and use the pork belly rub. And I'm going to use about 4 tablespoons of rub. Just get that all in here, and then I'm going to rub it on. And I've got this 14 spice meat rub in here. You can use whatever seasoning you like. So now we're just going to rub our seasonings into our beef. What we're going to end up getting is a really nice bark. The meat's going to be cooked all the way through, and it's going to be super delicious. I'm just going to flip it over and flavor the other side. So there we go. I'm going to cover the pan with aluminum foil, and I'm going to cook it at 275 for about 5 hours. And at hour number 4, I'm going to temp it, because I want to make sure that I've got the meat coming up to the right temperature. All right, so I'm going to get my meat thermometer, because at hour 4, I'm going to start checking it. And I'm going to cook it until the whole roast is at 165 minimum. If it's a little more, that's fine. I'm looking for tenderness, and I'm looking for kind of fall apart but still delicious meat. I'm going to be using this for sandwiches, but also just serving with potatoes. So depending on kind of how you like your corned beef, but you want to be at a minimum of 145, and I'm going to go to 165. So I'm going to put my foil wrapper on here. I'm not putting any fluid in here. The meat has enough fluid that it's going to cook in its own juices, and this foil is going to keep the juices in the meat. It's going to go in my 275 degree oven that's already preheated, and I'm going to leave it in there for 4 hours before I even check it. So keep your eyes peeled here. I'll show you what it looks like at the end. I'm also probably going to do another video that shows you a little bit about what we're going to do with this corned beef. Okay, so that is it. You can find my corned beef recipe at stephaniesdish.com. You can also subscribe to my newsletter at Substack. I have tons of recipes there. I've got a cookbook called the True North Cabin Cookbook and a new one coming out in September. So we're going to go ahead and get our corned beef started. Our corned beef is out of the oven. You can see it's given up a lot of juice. And for each roast, I'm gonna add about 3 tablespoons of barbecue sauce. And I'm gonna rub it on there. I'm just gonna slather that on there. It's still gonna be low and slow at 275. So this will create like a glossy shellac on the top. And then from there, we can slice it for sandwiches. We can eat it with boiled potatoes and carrots if we want. But this is gonna be going back in the oven, uncovered now, for another about 30 minutes until that barbecue sauce bakes on there. It's gonna be really delicious. Okay, our corned beef is done. You can see how glossy it looks on the top with the barbecue sauce. It's pink, it looks delicious. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut a slice. Look at that. Beautiful, pink, delicious meat. Very tender. You can find the recipe at stephaniesdish.com. Also, you can find Thousand Island dressing recipe there if you're gonna make Reubens. And then tip for you. Get these roasts after St. Patrick's Day. Always on sale. And you can get like 3 roasts and feed a ton of people in the summertime at the cabin, doing this low and slow in the oven or doing the same low and slow on the grill, 275, and then finishing it with the barbecue sauce and leaving the foil off. It's super delicious. We do that a lot in the summer. So there you go. Try the oven baked corned beef and follow me at stephaniesdish.com.